An hour-long lightning delay could not keep the Huskers down as they came out victorious against Louisiana Tech 28-14 on Saturday. However, it seems though this win was just the calm before the storm as Nebraska faces second-ranked Michigan at home this weekend. What does this Husker team need to do to stay competitive as they head into conference play? We'll recap the win with our special guest, Husker Online senior writer Robin Washut, and we'll touch base with Sean Callahan with recruiting. All of that, much more, next on Big Red Wrap-Up. And welcome to the Big Red Wrap-Up on Nebraska Public Media. Nebraska wins its second in a row. You know what they say, that's a winning streak. Joining me now to talk more about that is former Huskers Jay Moore and Damon Benning. Name that movie.
Major League.
Yeah, see that? That's why
that was easy. That was
an easy one.
That was a layup. That's my favorite.
He's got a little Lou Brown to him.
He does.
Do I?
Have a little Lou Brown to him.
Very straightforward.
That is very true.
Tell you like it is.
Just don't do that to that guy's contract. Everything will be fine. Let's go back to what happened against Louisiana Tech at halftime. It's 7-7. Your thoughts at the time?
Slightly concerned. Yeah, not slightly. Very concerned. Yeah, I think just the feel of it. It went in your head. Like Nebraska could definitely lose this football game. It started off sluggish. You know, that first play of the offensive series, Harburg steps back on the play action pass, gets sacked for a 3 or 4 yard loss. It's just had a weird kind of flow to it. And, you know, the big plays, you know, Louisiana Tech has a kickoff return that gets called back. Obviously, we had some big plays get called back too. So it had bad flow. It just never felt like Nebraska could quite grasp it. And Louisiana Tech was there to, if they could have seized some momentum, I think they had a chance. But again, I'm happy that obviously the way it turned out. But it was a very, very weird game. Obviously with the thunderstorm that comes through and then the delays. But that's in the past, I think that's a football game Nebraska loses.
This is not the same Husker team from the last 4 years, because that was right. I think that's a game that they possibly could have lost.
Yeah, I just felt like going in at the half, they didn't capitalize. I thought it was. This is the coach in me too. Whenever I feel like it's more about what we didn't do versus what they did, I always feel like we got a chance, and that's kind of how I felt at half. And the thing about it is, Nebraska a lot of times is their own worst enemy, whether it's one back versus two back, whether it's the situational play calling, or the untimely penalties. As long as they're in control, I feel like they always had a chance. So I felt like at the half, I just wanted them to get their composure, because what they have shown quietly is they play a lot better in the third quarter than they do the first quarter, which lets me know preparation and adjustments are actually happening. Yeah,
and both offensive and defensively. Yeah. They've not given up a first score at the beginning of the game or at the beginning of the third quarter, too. So
and that's important because they always talk about the middle third, that 8 minutes.
Yep.
Last 4 minutes of the second quarter, the first 4 minutes of the third quarter being the most important time of the football game, and Nebraska has surprisingly excelled there this year.
Imagine if they get that right. That's been your stat since a long time, last 5-6 years. If they get better at the end of the second halves, or the second quarters, that would really be something, because their third quarters have been pretty good thus far.
That could be a 14-point swing without a doubt. As we head to a competitive Big Ten schedule, there's so much to talk about. We can't do it without you. Connect with us. Help us guide the conversation. Our call room is up and running, manned by our sports intern, Hannah, and the students from the University of Nebraska's College of Journalism. Put your hands up in the air, folks. They join us throughout the season, enjoying Valentino's Pizza and taking your calls. You can also text and email us your questions to bigred@nebraskapublicmedia.org. We're also looking at all the social media accounts as well. Share your thoughts on Big Red Wrap-Up accounts, and we'll answer as many of your questions as we can tonight. Over the weekend, we asked you to vote on the top play from Saturday's game. Now it's time to look at the results. In third place, we have Heinrich Haarberg's 72-yard rushing touchdown, got 24% of the votes. You know, it's not sneaky speed. He's very fast. He is a heck of an athlete.
Yeah, he was very decisive. Wasn't a great decision, but he got away with it because he was pot committed.
Well, right when that happened, he's got a pitch.
I yelled pitch, and then he went
or do that.
They made fun of me in the press box. Second spot, look at the tricky Huskers. Tommy Bleekrode, your backup holder, comes in. 29% of the votes. If he scores, he wins this. If he goes in the end
that's
zone,
just good old-fashioned counter.
Yeah. Exactly.
That was fantastic.
He trips over Piper's foot. Top play, though, 47% of the votes. Thomas Fidoni's 29-yard touchdown catch in the fourth quarter. It was a little high, but he's a very tall guy, so you can throw it high to him. If you missed out on this poll, be sure to go to the website now and vote on our new sideline survey, which asks you which game are you looking forward to the most as we head into Big Ten play. Michigan, Illinois, Wisconsin, and you know it'd be Iowa. I mean, everybody's always looking towards Iowa, you know that. With that, let's dive into the Louisiana Tech game. What better way to do that than to go straight to the game highlights? It was a pretty nice day in Nebraska, at least early on before the rain came. It was packed. And Damon, who do they have leading them out the tunnel? The biggest, meanest cat. Yeah. He gets off the bus every time first. I love that.
That's a long walk, too, to have to stare at that guy.
It is. I know. I'm scared of the strength and conditioning guy. It was packed as always. Another sellout. Let's get to the highlights, though. All day long, Nebraska had success with this play. That's a 43-yard run. Actually, Nebraska averaged 22.8 yards on the option keepers. Listen to that. Almost 23 yards a play on the option keeper. That'll be in the, I hope so, in the playbook for the rest of the season. And here's Anthony Grant. What'd you think of the way he ran, David?
Yeah, I think he's fantastic. He's taking better care of the football, and he's the best natural runner they have. He's a downhill guy, and they're starting to get downhill.
Timmy Bleekrode, we mentioned this a little while ago. You have a trick play. When you know they're putting this in during the week or the weeks, are you anticipating this? Like out of practice?
Yeah, so for sure. Yeah, that's an alert in special teams. You know if you got them, the way they line up, and the way I'm breaking this play down the huddle, so I've seen it. So I just know the way their guy over the, towards the center side kind of operates. So they had an opportunity there.
If you count to 5, you can run that play.
That's right? Correct.
Surprisingly enough, that was Billy Kemp's first rushing touchdown of his career. He didn't have any at Virginia. Of course, that's the first in Nebraska. Smoke Harris, our key from last week, a guy that Nebraska needed to slow down. He got his yards, but it took a lot of time to give him the ball. They had some success with other guys as well. Here's Jacob Fields, 19 yards, had a good day as well. And then Turner, who can actually throw a pretty good ball. Here's a good one to Cyrus. This is a nice throw. He led them with 6 catches for 102 yards.
Yeah, fell in coverage and came open on the corner route, kind of a natural pick. It was stealing.
Best run all day for Louisiana Tech, 14 yards, their first touchdown. A couple different chances to tackle him there, but he ended up breaking some of those. I mentioned Harburg. Here we go again. Doesn't pitch it, keeps it, gets a good 7-8 yards on that one. He had 19 carries for 157 yards, and it could have been easily over 200 if it wouldn't have been called back. This is a nice play here. Nice contact, holding on to the ball.
Yeah,
really good hole throw, too. Threw it on time.
Do you think this is a confidence thing right now for Tristan?
I don't. I think it's about being comfortable, right? He's just, thinking a little bit too much about being exact. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just be him.
This reminds me of Wisconsin. Nebraska came out in the third quarter, fullback, 22 personnel, and ran the ball 9 straight times and said, Louisiana Tech, stop us, and Louisiana Tech could not do it.
Yeah, a little blast there with the little backside guard pulling. It's just who AG is. He's a downhill runner, and he's able to get in and out of creases in a hurry.
Nebraska got 85 yards on those 9 carries to start the third quarter. Gets down to the 2-yard line. Again, lines up, I formation, and runs right at Louisiana Tech.
That's weird. The first guy almost never gets him. Doesn't matter how poorly or well executed the play is, the first guy never gets AG.
I still like to see him in that shotgun stuff or the pistol find some holes occasionally, but he did play obviously very well.
Yeah, not his thing, right? I think that's the biggest difference with the zone scheme in 1-back versus the downhill base blocking out of 2-back.
Touchdown for Vidoni right there. 3 touchdowns now in the season. He is quietly lighting it up for them. Here's Anthony Grant again, picking the holes, finding his spot, getting outside. Good run there for 7 yards.
Yeah, just decisive. Lindenmeyer whiffed at the point of attack, and it didn't matter.
Yeah, going back and forth with Lindenmeyer and Liebentritt both playing that fullback spot. They're 2 big guys for that spot.
Yeah, I really like Luke. He's been a great find.
Yeah, big time. And here's another time. Doesn't pitch it, keeps it, goes 72 yards. I yelled pitch. But you know
I think everybody did.
Again, I'm doing this play in the huddle, but yeah, it's set.
He's so decisive. Yep. He's on you in a hurry.
How about the fact that he holds it way up, too, up tight? He's not fumbling. No. He's got it way up there, New York Giants style, no doubt. We had the weather delay. Everyone, as Trev Alpert said, did a great job. They left the stands, went into the concourse. 58 minutes or so, all came back. I know the radio crew went to some highlights or something. They were just to do something else. This is, again, another example of Nebraska up big 28-7 and a team getting some late scores. You kind of want to stop them, obviously, but you also want them to burn a lot of clock.
Yeah, and it's the first time that Captain Jack actually ran the ball with the scramble game. It was there earlier, but he kind of showed it coming out of the half.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And again, he throws a good ball. He's a much better starting quarterback than the guy they had who ended up getting hurt from Boise State. Bachmeier, who transferred in. He's much better. Here's a touchdown right there to make it 28-14. That was to Allen for 20 yards. And then here we go again, trying. This gets you a little nervous here because Nebraska didn't burn as much clock as they thought, as we thought they should have, and this gives Louisiana a chance kind of to rally a little bit.
Yeah, not getting a ton of pressure on the quarterback, and just able to play catch here.
Smoke Harris, 10 catches for 73 yards. Turner again, as you mentioned, Captain Jack Turner, to Nate Jones across the middle. That one's for 15 yards. Starting a little nervous here, but they throw the ball to DeColdis Crawford, bounces off of his helmet and shoulder, intercepted by Isaac Gifford, returns it for 3 yards, and pretty much puts it out for everybody. Game is over. Let's go to the stats and see what they look like on the final stats. Nebraska rushing yards, 312 yards on the day to 46. That is what Nebraska was giving up on average coming into the game and kept it the same place at 46. And Nebraska won the turnover battle. You know what that means. They win the turnover battle, they win the game. It's a great job by Nebraska there in those final stats as well. Let's talk about the offense overall. So, I had those numbers. There's a couple things they did. So on the option keepers, they had 7 of those, and they went for 160 yards. Mm-hmm. On the I formation plays that started in the third quarter, 14 plays for another 110 yards. Obviously, they found something against Louisiana Tech.
Yeah, when you move up front as much as Louisiana Tech does, they kind of stem and they jump to it, and they want to be a havoc kind of team. The more direct the flow is in terms of the running game, the more limited you are on defense, and they really found a way. Now, the option game to the 2-by sides, that's just a numbers game. Mm-hmm. And Nebraska's wide receivers found a way to win on the perimeter and really made Louisiana Tech fit in the run game. The open, when I say to the 2-by side, I mean to the 2 receiver side. Anything to the field with the way that they would defend the backside was going to be a numbers game, and Nebraska found it.
You're a big guy, obviously, when you were playing, right? Mm-hmm. Still a big guy. They bring in an extra offensive lineman, and they have 2 tight ends. Mm-hmm. I don't care who you are, holding the point of attack's got to be difficult.
It is, but you work on that, you practice that, you gotta drill it. You just got to be gap sound and just know where your help is and make sure you got a good, strong gap hand to keep that thing and from not getting. The other thing is getting too far washed down too and shorten that corner. That's the biggest thing. So you got to fight pressure with pressure in that type of situation.
Yeah, but I love bringing in Teddy Prochazka as that extra offensive line, unbalanced line. You can either go the opposite, where they have fewer numbers, or just say we're going to run over you.
And 12 or 22 personnel, if they're in 2-back, you're just getting a hat on a hat, too. That's about movement. Take them where they want to go. And Grant is such a good feel runner. Once he kind of gets in the rhythm and he gets a chance to get downhill, you're really playing to his strengths. He's better in hallways than he is out in, like, let's say, the living room, right? The quicker he can get his shoulders north and south, the better he is.
I said he drives better with his GPS on. His GPS is that fullback, kind of like you know where you're going.
Right, you always want to be in the picture. If there's a camera in that fullback's backside, you always want to be in the picture, and there he is in the picture.
Yeah. You think about the offensive line. Early on, you mentioned that first sack, and I don't think that was on the offensive line yet, a blitz, and maybe Grant can pick that up. But what do you think about how the offensive line played?
Okay, it's again, it's still a work in progress. I think Corcoran's probably still is struggling the most on the group. I think he's gotten better. I think he's improved. I thought Benhart's is improved. Noelle's improved. Piper's has improved. Listen, you were able to run the ball that well. You're doing some good things up front. Just not. Again, they've got to create a little more time in the pocket for the QB, because I know they need more time. They don't have guys who, can just, burn by guys or can get open really quick. So they need to provide some more time. But overall, I think they have improved through 4 games. And again, over that overall, a B- type of grade in this game. Still a lot to improve on, but I love the ability to come out in the third quarter and run the football as well as they did.
I think if the ball comes out on time, that would really help the offensive line. I'm with Jay a little bit in terms of, we need to be a little more stout in the edge pass protection. But guys are open, and balls are just a little late, and sometimes they'll hold and double clutch, and that's really sometimes all you need. And if he gets a little confident with the intermediate passing game and gets balls out on time, I think they got a chance to be okay.
Give Bryce Benhart a lot of credit. I mean, where he was last year, the year before that, and what he's playing now, I think Noelle's playing very well.
Ben Scott, who I felt like maybe in fall camp, Justin Evans-Jenkins was coming.
Really?
And, Ben Scott held him off, and he's playing well. And Justin Evans-Jenkins is a guy that they find ways to get on the field. good on Ben Scott getting it in gear.
Our producer wants to talk about the quarterback debate. I don't know if there is one. I think the way Hyrick Harburg is playing, is there a debate? He's the starter right now, isn't he?
Go ahead, DB.
Well, I think it's relatively easy. You're saying to yourself, it's not who gives us the best chance to win. It's who needs the fewest things to go right in order to succeed.
Sure.
And right now, it's been Haarberg. While I think Sims has the better passing ability, until they come face to face with that, it's best case scenario. We're trying to envision what would be best. For right now, with what they want to do, I think Haarberg's the guy. I would imagine he gets to start against Michigan, and you have to worry about not having such a low floor versus how high your ceiling is. Clearly, I think Sims is the higher ceiling guy. I'm just not sure it's enough right now to roll the dice on the low floor if you're going to turn the ball over.
Is this a juice worth the squeeze kind of thing?
It kind of is. I mean, that's a pretty good analogy, right?
I think the interesting thing is Coach Rhule's tone has slightly changed. He's come out and said Jeff Sims is our starting quarterback, but now it's a week later. I've played 2 quarterbacks before. And this is not abnormal to me. So I think his tone has kind of changed in this whole scenario with Sims obviously still being banged up.
And remember, Brewer or P.J. Walker weren't his original choices.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Those were guys that over time got this thing. And I think the thing, I kind of like what you said about, it's not that the tone has changed a little, but I think a lot of that is coaches have to kind of admit and come to grips with maybe this is a little different than we thought. And with quarterbacks, you never really know until they take snaps.
Bullets are flying.
Until you're in live games, quarterbacks are hard to negotiate.
You were on a pretty good defense in 2006. When you see 1.8 yards a carry, you see guys swarming it. Some missed tackles in the first half, but much better in the second half. What did you think about it?
Again, a very solid effort. It was a little bit of sloppiness there, I think, just the way they spread them out, up tempo. You're going to have some missed tackles. That's going to happen. But overall, it was still a very clean, nice effort. The only thing I didn't like was their inability to get to the quarterback.
Yeah.
I know they did not bring a ton of pressures. And that's one thing. They did drop 8 a lot.
And he gets rid of it pretty quickly.
Yeah,
he did
that too. But at times, it's like, gosh dang. But again, you're rushing 3 and 5 and maybe even 6 if they keep it back in protection. So a tough ask for those guys. But again, Nebraska's done a good job of getting home with 3 so far early in the year. But overall, again, it's a great effort. But the test is obviously coming up this week, and I think they're going to be up for that challenge.
Significantly better on third down, too. Just 3 of 12 for Louisiana Tech.
Yeah, 2 weeks in a row with that doggo hunt. Yeah, what do they need to improve on the most to be able to challenge Michigan?
So I think there's a couple things that they can build on. Number one, you have to keep this thing in a phone booth. Michigan isn't a team that wants to get out and deal on the perimeter. They want to play this thing in a hallway, 3D style. So Nebraska's got to be very, very good at the point of attack. The other thing is pay attention to leaky yards where you let guys, Corum fall forward. You think you fit it correctly, and he falls forward for another 2 yards. Instead of 2nd and 8, it's 2nd and 6. And then they will repeat the same thing on third down. And all of a sudden, instead of 3rd and 5, it's 3rd and 2. You got to stay away from the hidden leaky yardage. When you have a chance to make contact and fit in the run game, you got to make sure guys either fall sideways or fall back. You can't allow the little loose hidden yardage.
Backside contained, J.J. McCarthy loves to come off and boot, loves to go off the other side. That's something you got to stay home, right?
Yeah, whether it's that defensive tackle or that jack or that outside guy, is knowing your role, and it's making sure your feet, your shoulders stay parallel to the line of scrimmage. You cannot get that hip turned or that outside shoulder turned upfield, because then it's harder to come out if he does boot. You got to play with good vision on the mesh point. It's a lot. It's a very disciplined role. You have to play with good eye discipline, and I think we've seen it so far this year that they've done so. Nebraska's played with really clean eyes so far this year, and I would expect them to do the same. But again, you have to be patient. You have to understand your role. Like that tosses away or something's going away, that's not your play.
Yeah.
Do
your job.
It's backside. You got to play that triangle. We always call it, and it's the handoff, boot, reverse type of
CBR.
Yep.
I like their guys on the outside. I don't love them. Roman Wilson obviously is their leading guy, and Loveland is the guy they've got to find at the tight end spot.
Yeah.
His coming out party was against Nebraska last year in Ann Arbor, and 18 can play.
Yeah.
He's a good inline blocker. They'll use him as a displaced guy, and he'll go get that thing. So Got to find out where number 18 is in the passing game because he's a quality. He's their next NFL-ready tight end.
And brother Cornelius Johnson, too. Don't forget about him. One of my favorite bands growing up in the 70s. As we comment on Saturday's performance, we also want to share the coaches and players had to say following this week's Big Red Report.
Obviously excited this week to come off a win. Proud of the guys for what they did. Excited to get ready to play Michigan, play a Big Ten team at home. Excellent team, number 2 team in the country for a reason. So great opportunity for us, experience for us.
We want to set a standard of how we play, how physical we are, regardless of who shows up, right? And I think if we hold ourselves to that standard, then it'll take care of itself. The game will take care of itself.
We just work well together, we communicate, we're tough, we always say RDV, and we just, we play hard, in practice. Coach is hard on us about getting to the football, and that's what really helps us, make plays, stop the run, and things like that.
Oh, I love it. We're getting a whole bunch of runs, a lot of guard pulls. Coach Sad's using the tools on our offense very well, I believe, right now.
It's a testament, I think, to what we say we are. Like, I don't care about stats. I don't care about anything other than winning.
We're just going to play every week and battle. So this is a great opportunity. We have good players. We expect our players to play well. The game, this game will be about blocking and tackling, covering, getting open, making throws. So we'll just play it and do that for every week for 8 weeks and see what happens.
I'm now joined by our Nebraska Public Media sports intern. Hannah, did you enjoy the game?
Yeah, it was a good game.
It was not bad, right? A win is always good.
A win is good.
Yeah. What did you find on social media this week?
So this week, our first post says, things to avoid at the dinner table, politics, religion, and Nebraska's quarterback situation. And that is in reference on whether or not we play Jeff or we play Heinrichs.
Yeah, that's always a good tip. You don't want to start fights at the dinner table.
Yeah,
Just
definitely.
eat and have fun, no doubt. What's your second one?
Our second one is from a Husker player themselves, Timmy Bleekrode, working this drill tomorrow at practice. And this is in response to some criticism he got about that trick play.
Yeah, have high knees, yeah.
Yes.
Because high knees, he probably scores.
Yes.
Have you run the tires before?
I have not.
Yeah, it's nothing fun.
No.
It's not fun at all. Hannah, we appreciate it.
Yes,
Thanks a
thank
lot.
you.
We'll talk social media again with you next week. After the break, we're joined by Robin Washut of Husker Online, and then we break down a couple of plays with Jay Moore in the huddle. Before we go, though, some sights from Saturday's game in Memorial Stadium, courtesy of Hurrdat Sports. Welcome back to Big Red Wrap-Up. We are pleased to be joined now by Robin Washut, senior writer at Husker Online. Also my pick whenever there's a battle royal fight in the ring. That's my reporter. That's my guy right there, Robin. I always got his back.
Yeah, thank you for
You're welcome.
Me. I'm always, honored to grace the stage with you guys, legends.
Yes, legends, yes. Old people, I get it.
I told you, the funniest non-funny guy going is Robin Washut.
You throw Sean out the ring first when you're at the battle royal.
Yeah, of course.
What were your thoughts at halftime? I asked Jay that. 7-7. They had some issues, plays called back. Of course, you had the kickoff return called back. What'd you think?
Yeah, kind of that point of, are we reaching nervousness yet? And, it was one of those deals where you thought it was going to happen eventually. And then they've always been a second half team. But it took longer than I'm sure a lot of people wanted, especially in that matchup.
Right.
Coming off a little bit of momentum, you finally got your first win. And then for them to start as slow as they did, the natural reaction was, uh-oh. Here we go again,
Right.
Georgia Southern all over again. But, as you guys mentioned earlier, the way that they took that game over in the third quarter, I thought was really reassuring. The fact that they did what they were supposed to do on both sides of the ball. The special teams has to get a lot better, but I thought offensively, finally to kick it into gear, the defense did what it needed to throughout, and, job completed.
You're usually pretty measured. Can you feel the anxiety that was in the stadium? Like, I felt like it was kind of palpable. What were you thinking? Because you stay pretty even-keeled.
Well, yeah. I mean, and I don't blame people, for what they've experienced in those types of games. I mean, in recent history, they've lost those, and they've lost too many of them. And so, for a Nebraska team that is still very much figuring itself out on offense to be in that tight of a game against a team that was pretty fearless, Louisiana Tech, you could understand why people were getting a little nervous there. And so, again, for them to start the third quarter the way that they did was so imperative, just to kind of take that breath, get the relief feeling back in the stadium and then take things from control from there.
Robin, through 4 games, now we're getting to the meat of the Big Ten play, but now we've seen who Nebraska is. I guess we had the one Big Ten game, but getting through the non-conference, what are you most confident about with this team so far through 4 games?
Far and away defense. I mean, that front 7 especially, and the secondary. The secondary really hasn't been tested all that much outside of Colorado, and, they, for 3.5 quarters, did pretty well in that regard. So just the way that they've been able to play the run, and, Colorado didn't even try to run it. Louisiana Tech barely tried to run it on them, but Minnesota wanted to, and they couldn't. And they had to throw the ball more times than they had, maybe under P.J. Fleck in a long time. So that gives you a lot of reason for encouragement going into Big Ten play. We're starting on Saturday with Michigan. You know what Michigan's going to try to do, and they're going to try to impose their will physically. And I think with what we've seen from that front 7 from Nebraska, you feel more confident about that group than we have in a long time. I mean, just with their ability to hold up. And a lot of that is not only the play of the front line guys, but the depth and the way that they've been able to rotate and the hockey lines that come in on the defensive line and linebacker unit. And there's really not much drop-off. And perfect example, Luke Reimer's questionable right now. And a year ago, that's like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? Well, now he's next man up, and you feel pretty good about that.
I think we learned our lesson in Minnesota. We're joking about, wow, is Javen Wright going to be the next inside guy up? And we thought it was kind of slim pickings, and then we were okay.
Yeah.
Then Mekhi Bear all of a sudden. He's doing everything.
And all of a sudden, they're 3 or 4 deep across the board, those linebacker spots. So that, I think, gives you a lot of reason for optimism. Obviously, the offense, a lot of work to do there. Special teams needs to be a lot more consistent. But I think we know what that defense is, and we know what they're going to be week in, week out. And that is going to give you a chance every game here on out.
Got Billy Kemp, Thomas Fidone, obviously. Marcus Washington has some stuff. But who else? Everybody keeps waiting for one of these young receivers to step up.
Yeah, I mean, Tommy Hill, starting wide receiver Tommy Hill.
Next.
This is a Tommy Hill free zone in this show right here. No, we're not bringing up Tommy Hill.
They're trying with that one.
I know
they're trying hard.
They keep trying.
And so, that I think kind of tells you the situation right now is that they're looking at all corners of their roster to try to find somebody that can be that over the top, soften up the defense deep threat. And they've come close with Hill. They've come close with some of these deep shots, but it hasn't quite connected yet. So that's still very much a work in progress. And that is as critical of a component for this offense as anything. They have to be able to keep defenses honest and keep 8, 9 guys out of the box. Louisiana Tech didn't even care about the deep ball. Like, they were dropping one safety and bringing 9, 10 guys up to stop the run.
Do you know what I think? That maybe I'm crazy, but I'm going to say this again because it drives me up the wall. Guys are open.
Yeah.
We missed the 2 posts against Minnesota. We missed the skinny to Hill running along the sidelines. We threw it up the sidelines
Yeah,
last week.
Yep.
It's not near as much the wide receivers as much as quarterbacks got to put it on these guys when they are open. Malachi Coleman running free down the hash against Minnesota. Throw him the ball.
He was wide open.
Get it to where those guys can catch it, and I think we'd feel a lot better about our wide receivers.
He was open against Colorado down the field as well. But you can't feel great about your wide receivers when your third wide receiver is a cornerback.
Yeah, but
and
listen,
he's not Travis Hunter.
No, and I understand that. I wouldn't even make that comparison, to be honest. But he played offense last year, so it's not like staff, and they had the great Trey Palmer. So,
they did, yes.
I mean, Tommy Hunt must be doing something on the offensive side of the ball that's garnered the attention of two different staffs.
Both of you guys played a whole lot of football, a lot of practices. Are there sometimes guys that do really well in practice that just don't do great in the game?
Oh, 100%.
I think he might be that guy.
100%.
He's obviously doing well in practice.
We know practice guys versus guys
But I've had this question too, but I can't think of a whole lot of them. Usually if you perform very well in games, in practices, you're going to perform very well in games. I think sometimes the guys,
mostly it's quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, comfortable in
that can look good in practice, and it doesn't lend itself to.
You're correct right now.
Well,
listen. I mean, I'm just calling a spade a spade.
Well, Chubba Purdy was the same thing.
How do you really feel? I'm confused.
Chubba Purdy was the same way.
I don't think I was going on a limb at all in that comment there. Gee, I think we've been making that discussion here since game one.
What do you think about the special teams? Obviously, it's been a little uneven. Luckily, there was the holding call and the kickoff return. What do you think about the special teams?
Yeah, they got to get better. And you saw what happens when they are playing at a high level. I thought the Minnesota game, they were excellent. And that gave Nebraska a chance despite all the turnovers. When you have the defense playing like that with the special teams complementing that, that puts you in a really good position to where the offense just has to do just enough at this point. So they need to avoid the costly errors like the fumbles, the shank punts, the missed field goals, but they also need more explosive plays out of that. They need returns. They need to be able to win the field position battle.
Do you feel like you have a good idea of what they're trying to accomplish on kickoffs? Are they high hangers? Are they short pooches? I don't feel like I have a good idea of what the desired outcome is.
The wind has been blowing pretty hard, trying to kick to the North Stadium. I noticed that a couple times, but I don't know sometimes.
Right? I felt like maybe Alvano got the last one right. I think he wanted a high hanger, but in between they switched over the Bleak Road.
One out of bounds,
and then, Tristan hit one out of bounds. I'm not sure what they want the outcome to be.
Well, especially when you're rotating three guys at kickoff specialists. Machine's kicked off as well. And so, I mean, like, what is the intent? I mean, are you just trying to boom it out of the end zone? And if so, then just roll with that. But if you're trying to mix it up, I think then that opens up the chance for bad kicks.
Did you miss hit a ball?
Yeah.
Let's talk a little basketball because obviously the first couple practices, I love the idea of having a real veteran team, especially coming off last year when FAU and San Diego State had veteran teams and obviously advanced. What did Coach think about having the veterans that he has?
Well, that was a clear design going into this offseason. And the difference now, unlike last year, where you're getting a bunch of old guys, but they're all new, Sam Griesel, Jawan Gary, Emmanuel Bandamel, those types. Now you have a core nucleus to build around, where you're bringing back Gary, you're bringing back Jamarcus Lawrence, Keisei Tominaga, C.J. Wiltshire, guys that have played a lot of Big Ten basketball, and you're supplementing that with veteran players like Rink Mast and like Josiah Alec and those types that they've played a lot of ball in their own right. And so they understand what's expected. They understand what needs to be done. And so I think right away, even before these official practices that started this week, going back into the off-season workouts, the thing that I kept hearing was there's just a competitive spirit within this group to where that's what you get with older guys that realize that their time is now. Like they don't have 4 or 5 years. You got guys that have 1 or 2 years, and their focus is all in line, and they understand that each day what they have to do. And so far, that's been as well as Fred Hoiberg could have hoped.
What do you do with the point guard spot? You bring Lawrence off the bench. Do you figure playing more a natural point helps Nebraska? What do you do at the point guard spot?
Yeah, it's going to be by committee, but I think Jerron Boogie Coleman's going to be the guy to start. And we'll just see what that picture looks like. I mean,
he probably was playing out of position.
He didn't commit until August 6th. Yeah, especially in Missouri. He was playing way too much off the ball, and he said that much. And so the hope is that with Fred's kind of freedom movement type system, he's going to be able to have more of that playmaking ability with the ball in his hands to where he's going to look for a shot, but he's also going to be able to be more of a distributor than he was at Missouri and even at Ball State. So that, I think, is the plan. But, you know, Fred said today that Jamarcus Lawrence is very much going to be in that point guard picture.
He started to really come on.
And started to shoot really well, too.
Yeah, and so that's the kind of the balance with him, though. He's not going to be a primary point guard because he's too good of a shooter off the ball. So I think that's when I say that the committee, you're going to have Coleman be your primary guy, but there's going to be 3 or 4 guys that can work in as ball handlers. Reek Mass can bring the ball up, like Derek Walker did a year ago.
He's going to be a nice addition.
Yeah, Josiah can bring the ball up. So, I mean, like, you could have 5 guys that could all initiate the offense in the half court, which is kind of the design of how they built this roster.
Sam Hoiberg's still there, right? Nobody mentioned Sam.
Yeah, haven't you seen his Twitter?
Yeah, one of the most clutch players all year last year, and he can dance, too. Let me get that guy. A couple last football questions. What about Quentin Ives? What do you think about him? What do you think about Emmett Johnson? Did either one of those guys get in the mix?
Yeah, the thing is, they're still so young. And I'm reluctant to throw a true freshman and a second-year guy that has you know, maybe 1 or 2 carries his whole career out there against Michigan. You know, not only just the running, but the pass protection part of it. That is the big worry. We've seen what happens when Nebraska can't protect. And with these quarterback situation, as good as Haarberg has been, they got to keep him clean. And so I lean more towards veterans than I do young guys.
They mentioned Josh Fleeks was he moved running back.
How about that? Like on deck. Well, I watched him warm up last week, and I'm like, wait, he's in the wrong position group. He's with the running back.
Yeah, which he did a little bit of Baylor, of course. Schedule-wise, where do you see Nebraska going against the Big Ten West? Obviously, is a mess. What do you see them going forward in the schedule?
Yeah, I mean, this game, it kind of is what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a mismatch in a lot of ways, but I think that you look at what's happening with the rest of the Big Ten West, it's wide open. I mean, Illinois is going through it. Purdue's going through it. Iowa, they're licking their wounds right now after that Penn State game. So, you know, Nebraska still has a lot of warts, and they still have a lot of things that they need to clean up before they're even in the discussion. But what is encouraging is that they're getting better each week, while the Big Ten West is still going through the same issues in a lot of ways that they are. So, you know, anything is possible.
No doubt. Robin, we appreciate it. Robin Washut, we appreciate him joining us. As always, there's a lot of players that had great moments on Saturday, but 2 that really stood out to us. Heinrich Haarberg and Deshaun Singleton. Haarberg rocked the run game, and Singleton rocked a couple of people as well. Had some good plays on defense. Both of them are our players of the game. And another Husker who had a big game against the Bulldogs and received the majority of the votes for this week's top play was Thomas Fidone. We sat down with him in this week's Husker Up Close segment. Check it out.
Growing up a Nebraska fan, I was pretty much born in a Husker outfit, Husker uniform. So I knew that this is where I wanted to be. I know that I had a huge opportunity here just to, you know, make my dream come true, and the Nebraska fan base dreams come true is to kind of flipping this program around to where it used to be, and that's what we're going to do, and that's why I stayed to be a big part of that. It's been a little bit of a transition from not being able to play the game to now kind of being full go. As crazy as it sounds, I think that I'm a better football player from, you know, kind of sitting there and being able to learn and grow as a person and a football player on the side. Exactly what I'm trying to do is, you know, create mismatches on the field and, you know, create impacts in the game and, you know, make big plays to help us do what we want to do, which is win. Something the Husker fans might not know about me, I am a tattoo artist. I've done quite a few tattoos on some people on the team. I've done tattoos on my dad. Some people have, you know, reached out to me and messaged me. I've probably done about 40 or 50 tattoos. Yeah, so it's kind of my little hobby that I do. Everything, League Football means everything to me. I think that it is like a place away from kind of reality for me where I can kind of just go do my thing, something I've been doing since I can remember, really. So League Football means everything to me, and I think that it's made me a better person today.
It was awesome to sit down with Thomas and learn more about him. Now it's time to toss it over to Jay Moore in the huddle to break down some big plays from Saturday's game.
All right, a couple plays. I already alluded to this earlier. First play we're going to look at is the fake field goal with Bleak Road. And as a highlight here, you're going to count. And Damon already made this. If you count to 5, you can see how this play is going to work. They have 4 guys to the boundary side. We have our 4 guys plus the running back. We're plus 1. We're going to pull the opposite guard here for a little counter action. And honestly, he should have scored. And he said he needs to get on the tires, get those legs up. But it's a good play call. That is, you got to take that every time if they show that. And I'm sure the special team staff saw this earlier in the week, looking at Louisiana Tech film. Let's take this if we have it. And they got their opportunity. They did. You get Piper. I believe that's Piper kicking out. Opposite nose guard here does a good job fighting across just somehow to trip him up. Just gets a piece of him, but love the play call, love the high risk, and they got some high reward out of it. Next, we're going to look at the Hardbrook touchdown run option, sprint option. I had it verified with DB on this one. So they're going to run a little cross game, ET, end first, tackle around. Number 6, the linebackers are going to come down. And really, in this situation, this is a pitch. You have your alley player, the safety, still back here. He's forcing the pitch, but he makes a quick decision, and they do a good enough job here on the backside and then running that tackle out of the way that he's able to, number 2 is in space there. He makes a guy miss. He puts on the Jets high and tight with the football. 6 points for the Big Red.
Louisiana Tech just not disciplined, and you'd expect some big plays. They were top 10 giving up big plays in the country, so it's not surprising.
Well, they should have got a few more, but obviously those are called back on touchdowns as well.
Exactly. We still have more. Go ahead.
That's a really good job of the breakdown.
Yep.
Because 6 is pot committed. He's a QB player, but he was so decisive. I mean, he's in a bind. You think he should make that play, but that's a free defender versus a free good offensive player. That's all you can ask for as an OC.
I think he shocks people with his athleticism, too, a little bit.
He's the real deal.
Because they don't have a whole lot of tape of him. Now they do. But I don't know if Louisiana Tech knew what they were in for, especially when he got in the open. We still have more Nebraska football discussion coming your way. Next up, Sean Callahan talks recruiting, and then we preview this week's big-time matchup against Michigan. But first, more scenes from the win, courtesy of Husker Sports. Welcome back to Big Red Wrap-Up. It's time to check in on this week's Sideline Survey. What game are you most looking forward to as we head into Big Ten play? It's not a surprise. Iowa, that is the rival for Nebraska. I don't want anybody debating it. 42% of the people say Iowa, 32% Wisconsin, and then Michigan, Illinois split between 14 and 12. Now joining us, Sean Callahan, Talk Recruiting. Sean, is it going to be a busy weekend? I mean, it's obviously a Michigan game in terms of visits.
Yeah, you know, they bring in so many younger guys. I mean, you're going to have a lot of 25s, 26s. There's so many kids committed for 2024 that, you know, a good chunk of those guys have been at every game already, or some have been to one and some have been the other. So they've done a really good job, I think, this staff, of making sure guys get in early, especially because Nebraska didn't have a home game the first 2 weeks.
Right. Let's talk about in-state good players. Big kid out of Papio La Vista, Eric Ingwerson?
Yeah, Eric Ingwerson out of Papillion La Vista, committed to Pittsburgh early back in the process, but just a growing body at 6'7", 245. Physical guy. Papillion's having a great season this year, and he's kind of a part of that core group that's helped the Monarchs under head coach Tim Williams get going here over this season. But some people are like, God, this guy could grow into a tackle. But right now, he's a very physical presence on the edge, a good receiving tight end, a good defensive lineman for the Monarchs. Has some history to Nebraska. Both his uncles, Mike and Tim Green, were Husker players at Omaha West Side years ago. So, be an interesting guy to follow here in the coming months ahead.
Yeah, if there's a position in state-wise that you can fill in Nebraska, it's tight end.
Oh, we have never seen a run like this. I mean, there's roughly 10 or so plus Power 5 tight ends that have come out of this state in the last 6-7 years.
That's wild. Okay, let's go to our phone guest, Isaiah McMorris, joining us, the wide receiver from Bellevue West. Isaiah, how you doing? Thanks for taking the time.
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
We're doing well.
Well, Isaiah, first of all, just how are you doing? I know you battled that hamstring injury. It's kind of limited what you want to do. Have you been able to kind of get yourself close to 100% here the last couple of weeks?
Yeah. Every week been just a work in progress with me and my hamstring. I'm not all the way to 100%, but I'm close enough. So just every day, just doing something to get better and get close to 100%.
I know it's not the season you guys wanted, at least early on. Do you feel you still have the guys, obviously, and the chance to be able to advance and get where you wanted to get this season?
Yeah, I do think so. We still have a great team, great coaches. Practice every day this week been intense, so just taking it day by day, week by week, and I think once the playoffs start, we'll be a hot team.
Now, Isaiah, are you going to be an early enrollee, or will you be back at Bellevue West for the second semester?
I'll be enrolling early.
Okay, I was going to ask you because you had a chance to possibly win a 4th consecutive state basketball championship and obviously track. How hard of a decision was that for you to kind of let go of basketball and track to kind of move on to your next journey here to Nebraska?
I don't think it was really that hard because I know my future is in football. So if that means me graduating early to get on campus to get familiar with the playbook, then that's what I would do just for my future because I know it's in football.
Last thing, Isaiah, what was that feeling around campus when, Daniel commits, you commit, just that feeling of having, 3 folks from your school committing to Nebraska around the same time?
It was a great feeling. We committed on our official visit, me and Davon did on Instagram Live, and then Danny committed a couple of days or a week before us. So just doing it in front of the coaches at Nebraska, it was an amazing feeling that I will never forget for sure.
Isaiah, we appreciate it. Get healthy, man.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you to Isaiah McMorris and Sean as well. We have a new winner in this week's Game Day photo contest. Marion sent in these photos of her grandsons, Maverick and Maddox. Those are solid names. At the game Saturday. Congratulations to Marion, and thanks for sharing the great picture with us. Don't miss out on your chance to send us your best Game Day photos for chances with great prizes like these throughout the season. We want to see your Game Day best. So make sure you send in these photos or any photos you have, whether it's a tailgate, inside the stadium, or even from your watch party at home in the basement. Let's do a quick look around the Big Ten with some scores. Michigan takes care of Rutgers 31-7. That line was 24. Illinois fights back against Florida Atlantic to win 23-17. And the Wildcats, down 31-10, come back in overtime versus Minnesota to win that game. My favorite stat, though, from the weekend, Iowa, 366 yards punting, 76 yards total offense. I don't think there's ever been any kind of ratio like that in a game.
Was that more surprising than the snap disparity? Because that
90 to 30?
I've never seen 60
plays.
more snaps by a team in a regulation game.
In a ranked-on-ranked game, let alone.
I mean, there were some staggering numbers into that one.
Iowa normally doesn't give up more than 20, 24 in most games. And they usually even get a field goal or something. They haven't been shut out the first time since 2000. That was remarkable.
Their inability to run the football consistently has been a head-scratcher.
Right. Let's talk Michigan. We mentioned this when we were going through the prediction a little bit. The beginning of their season, almost kind of like preseason, right? Taking care of the teams they should. What do you feel about them overall, about the way they're playing?
Listen, Jim Harbaugh is a really good football coach. He has his team. They're physical. They know who they are. Methodical. Just good, solid, fundamental football. Special teams are always good. Listen, they don't have to do anything flashy. They're not a flashy football team, but when it comes to the big time, when the lights are its brightest, that's when they turn it on. And like I said, when you play East Carolina, UNLV, Bowling Green, Rutgers, you know, they didn't have to be at their best. And again, it was the scores were, you know, 35-7, you know, 31-10. It was nothing crazy, but that's just kind of how they operate, and that's how they know they can operate. And I kind of expect that's the same type of game to play out this weekend with Nebraska.
I thought there were 5 teams in the preseason I thought could be elite level defensive teams. Notre Dame, Utah, Michigan, Alabama, and Clemson, where I felt elite.
Yeah.
Michigan is still on that track. They can play 5-6 D linemen. They get their 2 studs back in the secondary. Colson is the real deal at the linebacking spot. That is an elite level defense when they get humming.
Nothing for nothing. The best team I've seen all year so far, though, Washington.
Yeah, they're fantastic. I just don't know how.
Maybe not,
I worry about them a little bit defensively.
Right.
But offensively, when you're averaging almost 10 yards every time you snap the ball, that's some video game type stuff.
No doubt. Michigan is averaging 13 fewer plays than they have the last 2 years. Do you think because of their style and the way the clock doesn't stop is affecting them in terms of getting plays off?
Yeah, you're right. That clock rule has changed a lot because they're going to run the ball, and that's what they're going to do. They have two of the best running backs in the country with a very accomplished quarterback in J.J. McCarthy. But, you know, their schedule, it's just been set up for them to develop this team, to build who they want to be. They have been stressed. I mean, this is a team that's building for November. They're not trying to win the college football playoff in September.
Right.
They know their opportunities are going to come to get in the playoff, and they're building that team there to get to those games later in the year. And this is really their first true stress game of the year, going on the road, going to Nebraska. This is only the 3rd time playing in Lincoln in the 13 years the Huskers have been in the Big Ten Conference.
Yeah, because Nebraska got so much Ohio State. Robert from Scottsbluff wants to know, are we going to see Josh Felix this week? They said the transfer from Baylor, so I'm assuming that's what they're talking about.
We could. We mentioned that earlier. He's getting reps now at the running back position. Just depends on, you know, with AG and Emmett Johnson, and if they want to play Quentin Ives. I would think potentially.
Yeah, I think we see Fleeks.
Third down type guy, maybe?
Yeah, and listen, I think it's a complicated pass protection, so you need guys that are experienced and can understand blitz pickup, too.
I know you've been banged up in your career a little bit. Do you think you can ever come back from an ankle sprain as the season's gone along? Can you ever get fully healthy?
I prefer that it be a lower ankle sprain than a high ankle sprain. High ankle sprains can really be a headache, especially with all the planning and pushing. Because, you know, you watch Sims run around, and one of the things that he simply can't do is drop back.
Yep.
Right? That's plant and push off. That's where it gets tough. Sometimes the lateral things, you can fool yourself as though you're going to be okay, but the repetitiveness of planning and pushing is ultimately where those high ankle sprains get you.
This one's for you, Sean. Recruiting question. With the rise of Lacey, do you think Nebraska can keep him committed to Nebraska?
So far, I mean, Ole Miss made a hard run at Kewan Lacey, who, you're right, has moved up in the 4-star rankings for us at On3, and I think some other services as well, but having an outstanding year down in Texas, in that Dallas area. And you have to think more and more people. But the good thing about recruiting now is these kids sign in December. So the window to grab them is very limited in December when you have really about 2 weeks to sneak guys in. Where in the old days, when you had to deal with January, I mean, January was a nightmare because you'd have 4 weeks of coaches trying to steal your recruits. And you would just hope that nobody stole your guys and they would sign with you in February.
This one's from Patrick. I'm just going to read this the way it's written. Do we have anyone on the left side of the O-line to play left tackle? Cochran is getting killed. That's what he wrote. Although it's Corcoran, but yeah.
He's struggled. You'd like to think Prohaska could come along, but they're not going to push him along. He needs to be healthy.
Sure.
I think they're doing it the right way with Teddy, implementing him in the tight end position and strategically. This is what we have to deal with right now until they feel fully comfortable with Prohaska being able to, play 60, 70 snaps.
Jared asked the question, if it is Harburg, do you see a role for Jeff Sims in the offense?
Personally, I do not unless he's playing quarterback. It's not a deal where you just roll out of the rack and say, oh, let's play running back or
wide
hey,
receiver
go out there and play wide receiver. I think Sims is a quarterback, and I'm just telling you, they'll need both of them before this thing is over. So it's going to be a long season. So before we settle in and get comfortable with anyone, when you carry the ball that much at quarterback, anything's possible.
One of the things that Coach Rule was talking about was mental health and preparing toughness, mental toughness. I thought that was a great answer he had. What did you think about what Coach Rhule said after Monday into that press conference?
Well, these kids go through a lot. I mean, and you even heard Taylor Martinez this week talk about that after his Hall of Fame interview. Like, thanked all the fans and even the ones that were critical of him. And Taylor Martinez was probably one of the first Huskers you can remember that really was kind of polarizing. You either loved him or didn't like him. And, I've heard Coach Rhule even say things like Pro Football Focus. When he was in the NFL, that was the #1 most stressful thing the pro guys feared for seeing bad grades, because the general managers and other people looked at those things and it affected their jobs. And they dealt with a lot of that in the Carolina Panthers. And I mean, we post them on our site every Sunday morning, and the fans love seeing that stuff, but it also creates a lot of debate and pressure, I think, on guys. But that comes with the stage and the territory of playing at a place like Nebraska.
Got to prepare the kids for it, right?
Yeah, 100%. I love the analogy of if you hurt your knee, you go see the trainer. If you want to be conditioned, you go see your rehab guys. And if you're not doing well emotionally, then that's where they have mental health professionals. And I think that's why you've seen guys that haven't been able to kind of stay the course, that have needed non-essential staff as part of the process of family, really hurt Coach Rhule, because I think he really believes in the staff that he has put around this team to help his young people deal with off-the-field issues.
Burning questions?
My burning question is this Nebraska defense for real? We're going to find out as far as their rushing defense goes when they see one of the top running teams in the conference.
Amen.
Can they evolve in the passing game? They're going to have to make some plays. There's always 4 or 5 against quality opponents that a quarterback and a receiver have to make, and can Nebraska make those plays?
Jay?
If they evolve in the passing game, can they get to double digits? Michigan has yet to allow opponent to get to double digits this year so far, so can they at least get to 10?
Can J.J. McCarthy be rattled again by the Nebraska defense like last year? 8 of 17, struggled last year. Can they get to him and rattle him during the game? Don't forget to head to our website and Facebook page and click on the prediction. Jay, Damon, and I will tell you exactly what to expect on Saturday when Nebraska takes on second-ranked Michigan inside of Memorial Stadium. Kickoff for that game is 2:30 Central on Big Fox. Then tune in to Nebraska Public Media on Sunday for some Creighton volleyball as the 16th-ranked Blue Jays face Seton Hall at 1 p.m. Next Tuesday, we're right back here to recap the game against the Wolverines. Aaron Sorensen from Counter Read. Our thanks to Robin Washut, Isaiah McMorris, and for our student volunteers in the call center for joining us tonight. For Jay Moore, Damon Benning, and Sean Callahan, I'm Michael Severe. We'll see you next week right here on Big Red Wrap-Up.